I don't believe it. It says here that Joe disagrees with me. Joe in Vienna, Virginia. Really?
Yeah, it's because you're mischaracterizing, you're setting up straw men, basically. And, you do understand some economics, but you understand basically socialist economics. I also have an economics degree from Ivy League University. And it is...
So did Milton Friedman, and he devastated Argentina.
It makes it sound like all you have to do is take money from one group of people, give it to another group of people, and everything will be solved. That is not at all the answer. It has never worked in a society. It didn't work in the Soviet Union. It didn't work in China. It didn't work in Cuba.
Joe, speaking of straw men, you're creating the ultimate straw man here by accusing me of being a communist. That's absolute and utter nonsense. Now, the fact of the matter is that I am saying that government should borrow money and spend it to fill in the holes of the business cycle, which are inevitable with capitalism.
And how well has it worked in Greece and Europe?
It has worked very well. What's going on in Europe right now, the problem with Europe has to do with the European Union and that artificial 3% budget deficit limit that causes countries, when countries go into recession, Europe is in recession right now, as is most of the world, thanks to the bad behavior of our banksters and Republicans like Phil Gramm. Europe is in recession, and when countries in Europe go into recession, they have automatic stabilizers in place. Joe, if you know anything about economics, you know this. There are automatic stabilizers in place in the European countries. The primary automatic stabilizer is unemployment compensation. So when somebody goes from being employed to being unemployed, now, instead of paying taxes into the government, they're taking money out of the government. The government starts running a deficit. To be a member of the European Union and use the euro as your currency, your budget deficit cannot run more than 3% of GDP annually. And when these countries, which was stupid, when these countries of Europe went into recession, they started running deficits in excess of 3%. And so they had to borrow money in order to get that deficit down. They're borrowing money from the wealthy countries, the Germans and the banksters, independent banksters. And those people are saying now, actually, we don't want to loan the money to you anymore. We want you to sell the Acropolis. We want you to stop giving your people health insurance. We need you to stop paying unemployment benefits because we're going to stick with that 3% threshold. It is crazy. And it has nothing to do with the United States. The way that the United States is structured has not, we don't have a 3% arbitrary limit. Now, I know the Republicans would like us to have one, Joe. They would love it if we were to say, oh, yeah, we got this debt ceiling limit, and hey, it's coming up. Let's run up against it and shut everything down. But we don't have to. We don't have to behave stupid the way the Greeks are being forced to by essentially the Germans, because we can print our own money.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 866-987-THOM.
We are a sovereign nation. We control our own destiny. God save us from the crazy right-wing economists.